Back at you with another one, and thank you for joining me for another video. So yesterday I mentioned that the most important thing we could do during this January transfer window was to clear out the deadwood, and it seems as if my prayers have been answered, because after that video there was all these talks that have gathered momentum that Mesut Ozil is going to DC United, and that was reported by James Bench. And then since then the rumours have started circulating that his next destination will be Istanbul and he will be joining Fenerbache. Yeah, so we have been trying to get rid of this guy for quite some time, and he is our biggest earner at the club, and it looks like after 7 years we are going to finally come to an end between the relationship of Mesut Ozil and Arsenal Football Club. So I thought, I always get it the wrong way around. Which one? This way, sorry. I thought I'd start off with this video here because it sort of hits home with me in terms of the signing of Mesut Ozil and what that's done to the fan base. I remember when we signed him. By the way, I'm not going to press, again, getting it wrong, I'm not going to play that video because last time I played that in the video I did previously got done for copyright, and I'm not going to redo this whole video again just for another copyright. So YouTube, I'm not playing, by the way, it's just on screen, it's not being played. But getting back to my point, but I remember the night we signed Mesut Ozil, and or the day shall I say, and it was just popped up on Sky Sports News that Arsenal are in talks to discuss Mesut Ozil, and it was on transfer deadline day. Prior to that, there was no rumours linking us with Ozil. There was nothing from any media outlet to suggest that Mesut Ozil will be going to North London and joining Arsenal Football Club. And within a few hours to spare before the transfer deadline, there was all these strong rumours linking him. And I thought, nah, it's not happening, not gonna happen. It's Arsenal, and you have to forgive me because we were at the point within our club history where we just moved in sort of the Emirates and we were facing austerity, selling our best players, while signing very, very cheap players who never really made the cut, let's be honest. And we're sort of speaking about players like Chamak, you know, Johan Giroud, Sokratis, etc., Yaya Sonogo, and then all of a sudden to be linked with Mesut Ozil from Real Madrid. And then within an hour later, I heard on Sky Sports News, Mesut Ozil has arrived in London to complete his medical. And I thought, nah, this can't be happening. So my friend calls me. He's like, yo, you hearing this? And I said, yeah. He goes, yo, let's go down to the Emirates Stadium because everyone's going to be there. It's going to be popping. I said, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I remember arriving at Finsbury Park. Fucking hell, it was lock off. The whole street, everywhere. Literally Arsenal fans taking over. Yeah, the Sky Sports News crew members were hounded out by Arsenal fans. You could see this sort of feel. I've never seen anything like that with Arsenal fans. And for once, we were positive. We were singing. We were for once, yeah, we were united as well. And then I remember that whole day and just that massive buzz, going to bed, waking up following day, pinching myself thinking, did that really happen? Going downstairs to realising, to put on Sky Sports News, to realising it actually happened. And then the best part of that day, yeah, and I'm not making this up, I then received this, yeah. I got the Ozil jersey the day he signed, straight after the day he signed on transfer deadline day, and I was so excited. I put it on the top. I remember walking around everywhere, and I remember I was walking around East London and a bus driver pulled me up, and this bus driver was actually working with passengers on the bus. Just beeped at me, and then I thought, what, me? He goes, yeah, you. Me? Yes, you, come over. So I went onto the bus and I said, what's wrong? He goes, oh, you got the Ozil top, yeah? Oh, mate, I still can't believe it. We signed Ozil. Oh, do you reckon we're going to win get top four? Do you reckon we're going to... No, sorry, he didn't say top four because we were achieving top four. He was saying, do you reckon we're going to win the league? We're going to win this. And I thought, wow, I've never seen so much optimism amongst the fan base in so long. And then Ozil, the signing of Ozil has done this. And then remember, that was then, yeah, backed by the following season with the signing of Alexis Sanchez. And for despite Ozil's failure here at Arsenal, he did end the 13 years of a trophy drought for us by winning the FA Cup. In terms of his success at Arsenal, would I say he's been successful? No. Reason being is because a player like that with that much potential, with that much hype around him, you're expecting to maybe lift the biggest honours like the Champions League, like the Premier League. Yes, to be fair, we never adapted the team around him. We never had a DM that could sort of sweep up everything behind him, which allows Ozil to go on the attack and create things. We didn't have a striker for so long where he could run onto things. Mesut Ozil had that season where he had an impressive assist record, and then Olivier Giroud went 12 games without scoring a goal, and therefore that never really helped out Ozil either. So by the time we actually put the players in place by bringing up players like Aubameyang and Thomas Partey, it's just a bit too late. So we didn't really help out Ozil, neither did Ozil help himself out in the situation, if I'm honest as well. Do I think it was a perfect couple in terms of a marriage between Arsenal and Ozil? No. I think initially he did come here, he wants to win things, but like the club board, his ambition slowly diminished, and then soon after he just became a mercenary and only focused on his business adventures. So I don't blame Mesut Ozil for some things like that. Yes, he's been hard pressed sometimes by the media. Ozil's got this nonchalant style, so he comes across that he's not really working hard, despite evidence showing that he does cover a lot of ground, despite what people think. But he's not really sort of taken the game by the scruff of the neck and won us a game. He didn't do things like Alexis Sanchez, where by himself he could win the game. So he didn't, for me personally, live up to the mark or the hype. Do I think it's a bitter sad ending? To an extent, yes, but that's all dependent on what's the actual circumstance of him not playing. And for me, I'm still holding on to the fact that he spoke against the Chinese treatment of the Uyghur Muslims who have been discriminated and put onto detention camps out there by the millions in China. And good on you, Ozil. I've always stated that those people with platforms need to speak out for things that actually matter. And for the simple fact that Ozil is doing that, I can't say nothing. He's speaking for a decent cause which speaks against anti-humanitarian acts. So why should I or anyone objectify what he's saying? Unless you're Arsenal, of course, and you only care about money. And if that is a situation where China went in and spoke to the likes of the Arsenal board saying, listen, so long as he's playing in your team, we are going to cut all merchandise sales from Arsenal. We're going to cut any TV rights to host Arsenal games, etc., which will have a massive impact on the finances of Arsenal. I can see why the Arsenal owners have done that, but regardless, I just think that in life there are certain things that are worth a lot more than money. And in terms of the situation Ozil highlighted, I completely agree. I don't think it's for footballing reasons, despite what Arteta's saying, because let's be honest, if that was the case, we have looked very toothless in terms of creativity. We have, if I'm correct, one of the worst or top 3 for worst created chances in the league. It's no coincidence that. So clearly we do need an Ozil type player, and we have seen it recently by deploying Emil Smith Rowe as a number 10. So yeah, it is a bit of a shame. As for Mesut Ozil, I think moving to Fenerbahce makes sense. He's idolised in Turkey, and I just think that everyone around him, it would just create a massive buzz. But since then, has there been any update from Turkey? And I just thought I would, where is it? This comment here. I'm lost all over the place, apologies. So AFC Bell has recently posted up something with regards to Ozil and him moving to Fenerbahce, and I think he sort of mentioned that it might be a 6 months loan So there you go. Close people around Mesut Ozil tell technically Fenerbahce's offer is a 6-month loan, the merits of which will be discussed shortly with Arsenal officials, and then a free transfer by the summer. The players' camp did not deny the news of Mesut is, I'm guessing, Mesut, approval when asked by our staff, but he did not confirm it on either side. Rather, it was satisfied with the offer. Speaking very Shakespearean term there, but I understand the gist of what he's saying, that they are all sort of happy in terms of the camp of the 6 months loan deal till June, and then once then it's a permanent deal, which I think that will suit all parties. Speaking of other sort of departures, Sokratis has been heavily linked to Genoa, and there's also talks of him going to Fenerbahce as well, and Fenerbahce interested in the Greek. And just on that, there was a picture that Mesut Ozil posted on Instagram where he mentioned that it was a caption of Istanbul, and he put "my favourite place on earth" or something along those lines, and Sokratis commented with just an eye emoji. Is he hinting something? Maybe he might be joining. That's great then to me. To me, fantastic news. That's 90k off the wage bill with Sokratis going. That's 350k a week with Ozil going. That's almost $500,000 between the two. And you can imagine the savings we can have. And then maybe in the summer, we can start spending big with all that savings we'll have from the departures of the two players just mentioned. So there's not much news on the Sokratis things, and I don't think that's as deep in terms of negotiation as the Ozil's case. So I'd say watch this space, and we'll see what happens with the whole Sokratis issue. In terms of other departures, I know I sort of sneak previewed you this, guys, and it is my boy Balogun, and there are talks that he might be going on loan to Swansea. I wouldn't say it's a reliable source. For me, it's all dependent on what happens with his contractual situation. If he wants to go out on loan, absolutely, so long as you sign that contract. I've always maintained this guy should be the next one in line, and it should not be Eddie. I haven't seen too much of Tyrese John Jules, so I can't speak much on him, so the verdict's still out there for him. However, I've seen enough of Eddie, and I'd rather get 15-20 mil for Eddie Nketiah, and let's sign this guy on a new contract. If he just wants game time, cool, mate, go out on loan. Go out on loan, come back and absolutely smash the Premier League. Go out on loan, and then hopefully we sell Alexander Lacazette in the summer because he's got a year remaining come June, and hopefully we can get some fee for him. And then we've got Balogun coming in to take over. That will be the perfect scenario for me. Moving on to I don't know who this guy is. Moving on to other news. So I put a question out the other day, or on my last video. Who would you choose if you could have between Buendia or Julian Brandt? And if not, and if there's someone else, who would that person be? This is my who is that someone. And I would go with Yves Bissouma. I just think this guy is absolutely talented. Watched him when we played Brighton. The guy was the best player on the pitch, hands down. He's just so composed, controls the ball, dictates play. Can you imagine him and Partey as a base? Wow. And then you can have Emil Smith-Rowe or someone along those lines in the attacking threat. I think that's just perfect. And so according to Football London, Yves Bissouma is another name the Gunners are bearing in mind. Make it happen. With the midfielder believed to be open to the idea of joining the North London outfit if the opportunity arose, Bissouma is an Arsenal fan. Let's come on. Just hear me out, guys. Hear me out, yeah? I know you're going to think, this guy's crazy, he's mad. What if, just relax, yeah? What if we got Bissouma, partnering him with Thomas Partey, and then go all out for Jack Grealish? All out. I mean, all out. Say, Aston Villa, come summer. Remember, Jack Grealish is still 25, yeah? So, Aston Villa is 80 mil. And it could rise up to potentially 100 mil, depending on, X, Y, Z. Let's start acting like a big club. Let's stop going for second-hand players, second sort of rated players. Let's start going for Basuma, Jack Grealish, both Prem proven, and I'd take them. I think Basuma, Grealish walks into any team, yeah, in the league, and that's including Liverpool, and that's including Man City, 100%. That's just my opinion. But before I sort of continue on with the video, I did sort of mention in the last video about any suggestions for or any comments for players that we could possibly sign. So let me just go through some of these comments. So here I've got oh, it's a good one here. So I've got Ali Abad who mentioned, how about Sini Diang in goal? And that's a good shout. That's a very, very good shout, because there are talks where Matt Macey is undertaking his medical at Hibernian today. So I think that will be a good move. Let me just confirm that. Matt Macey. Where is he? Latest. There you go. He's undergoing a medical tonight ahead of a permanent move to Hibs. So I think if we was to get rid of Matt Macey, bring in Seni Diang, who's 26 years of age, only 1 year older than Ronison, and he's a lot bigger, 193 centimeters tall. Compare that to a puny, tiny goalkeeper like Ronison, who's so error prone. Very, 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 very good shout there, Ali. So I'd like to sort of see that. Bring in Seni Diang as a number 2, and then I would bring in and then demote Ronison to a number 3. There's also another goalkeeper I have in mind. Is it the Watford goalkeeper? Watford, is it Foster? Watford goalkeeper, there he is. Yeah, Ben Foster. What if we actually went for Ben Foster, guys? Would you take him as a number 2? He's big guy as well. I'm 37. But then again, goalkeepers usually have a career until they're in their early 40s. So I'd say that's a decent number 2 as well. So agree, Seni Diang, absolutely good player, good mention. And if not, then we can go for someone like a Ben Foster. Also, by Emma Boyle, what do we think of Rodrigo de Paul? And would I be keen on signing Rodrigo de Paul? As far as I'm aware, Rodrigo de Paul is not got the greatest of stats, and he is what, 26 years of age? Let me see, Rodrigo de Paul. Apologies. There you go. There he is, Rodrigo de Paul. Let's just see his stats quickly. Career stats, clubs. So currently playing for Udinese for last season. Let's zoom this in so you guys can see. Currently plays for Udinese. So for the 2019-2020 season, he made 34 appearances, 7 goals, and yeah, 1 assist, which is not the greatest. And so far, okay, not bad record. He's had a goal contribution in half the games he's had so far this season in Syria. But still, I'd say he'd be rated around 25 to 30 mil. If I'm going to be honest with you, no, not for me. I know he's linked with Leeds, and you did mention that. So based on that, I think that kind of clearly states what sort of club he would fit. And I just think we're too big for someone like Rodrigo de Paul. As I mentioned, I'd like to sort of see a Jack Grealish. I'd even have Bundy ahead of him. But yeah, not too bad of a shout. Another one here. So Steve Paul, he goes, Happy New Year. Cheers, Steve. Good to see you back. And bye-bye, Ozil. He goes, we should still go for Husamawa and not be so cheap. Yeah, Steve, agreed. I think if Husamawa was your first choice priority come August, Why has things changed so much that in that time you've gone through several players and now have identified that either Buendia or Brandt is your prime target? If Husamawa is the guy that apparently Arteta loves, is Arteta's dream, and that was according to Fabrizio Romano in the summer, why have things changed all of a sudden? So I don't quite understand that. I've always said go for your number one options and then just sort of see what happens. Another question here by Josh Taylor. What chance do you think we'll get top four, and will Arteta make the changes needed to happen? The chances are as good as any, to be fair. If you're looking at the season so far, teams are taking points from each other. We were not long ago at relegation threatened, and now all of a sudden we're 3 points away from top four. Just shows you how crazy of a season, and just shows you that no one is putting on a decent run. If I'm correct, no team so far has gone 5 games or more winning. So maybe we've already got 3 games win. Maybe if we win our next 2, we can go on and create that momentum and get that top 4. In terms of will Arteta be able to do that job, I'd say the verdict's still out there. For me, it's all dependent on which Arteta. I know many of you guys know that I do criticise Arteta, and I'm not his biggest fan, and that's because of decisions he's made. I don't have anything against him personally. I don't know what he's like outside of football, so I'm not going to sit here and slate the guy. But it's just a few key decisions he's made that's made me scratch my head and think, why? It's like it's taken him so long to start playing the youth and entrusting them, because he continued and was stubborn by playing the likes of Willian. And do you know what I mean? So it's things like this, to the point where this guy didn't realise Emi Martinez was his number one goalkeeper, and then he got rid of him. The same manager that refused to give Saliba an opportunity, the same manager that begged Ainsley to stay, and then he rarely gives him any game time. So it's all dependent on Arteta, whether he changes, whether he learns from his mistakes. If it's that Arteta that first came in, the non-negotiable, the one that doesn't choose his mates, that one that doesn't have any favoritism, and the one that gets a team to press, and he has zero tolerance for any lazy players, then yeah, we've got every opportunity. But if it's the Arteta we start seeing, where he selects players based on his favourites, then no, we're not. Or this Arteta that is so stubborn and he refuses to change things, then we're not. So that's a good question, by the way, and thank you again. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for taking your time to listen to me. And like always, please like, subscribe, and if there are any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to get them answered in the next vid. All the best, guys. Take care.